Hey everybody, it's Aaron from the Kilby Life, bringing another Kilby Life video. Today I'm going to give you a little update on what I'm doing with my carnivore diet and all the cool stuff that's been happening. No, I thought I would just come and give you an update. It is Monday, March 25th, and I have 2 days until my 2-year carniversary. And if you would have told me 1 year ago that I would be struggling the way I am struggling, going 2 years on a carnivore diet, I would have thought you're crazy. And how am I struggling? I'm struggling with it's harder to find my why. Why am I doing this? Because finding health on a diet and getting better and stronger and fitter and freedom's back, it was all new. And now it's the same. And now that it's the same, I feel like there's something missing, which may or may not be true, but that's how I feel. And I share these types of things because I know that I'm not the only one that ever goes through these things, or has gone through them, or will go through them. So what am I gonna do? Well, one, what I talk about all the time is you gotta make sure that you know where you're headed and what your goals are. I wanna be fit at 50. That's a decent goal. Why? Because it's an arbitrary thing at an arbitrary age. 50's old, right? Yeah, I remember getting my dad some diabetes socks and some muscle milk and a no trespassing sign so he could yell, "Get off my lawn." But 50 is not that far away for me. 4.5 years. And it doesn't seem old to me now. It doesn't seem like I'll be an old person then. But I know plenty of people that are 50 that think they're dying or have had a steep decline in their life, and I just want to be fit, healthy, whatever that means. I want to feel like I'm succeeding at that point. So I'm working on that. I wrote this down the other day. I'm not going to let you see my writing up close, but I wrote my name, Aaron James Kilby. Dearly loved child of God, blessed above measure, hope-filled by the blood of Jesus Christ, a new man. And why did I write that? Because I feel like I'm struggling, I want to say, with my faith and the diet. It just is seeming bland or dry. There's not a lot of new things going on. And that's okay. That's okay. I know that it's okay. And the way that I'm fighting back is by reminding myself of these things, that I'm a dearly loved child of God, I'm blessed above measure, I'm a new man, I'm hope-filled by the blood of Jesus Christ. This matters to me. It matters to my soul. These are things that have changed me and changed my life, the trajectory of my life. I was talking to a young man who was 22 years old, who worked for me, that no longer works for me, and we were having a conversation. He's like, "Man, I made a big mistake," because he left the job, and "You were right about this, you're right about this, you're right about this," and you could just tell he was down. I looked down and I said, "I was no different than you at 22 years old. No different. The only thing different that happened to me at that age was that God got a hold of me and I started listening." Well, actually it was about 25, but around that time there were some very tiny steps and then big steps back. But I share that because getting on YouTube and sharing your story, the big part of my story is that. And I tried to do a lot of good things, the right things, and found myself with type 2 diabetes and just way bigger than I wanted to be. And finding a carnivore diet and going extreme helped me get control of my health and in my life, and I'm thankful for that. But I'm working on these new goals, and my first goal is, and obviously I'm eating the carnivore diet. There's been a few concessions, few and far between, and I'll get to that. But goals, and I took this from the Ultimate Human podcast, and then I changed it some, and he said that he got it from somewhere that he doesn't know. So I don't know where it came from. But everyone knows that I've gone on and off of caffeine, and I find the biggest problem for me is if I drink caffeine later in the day. So I got an 8-hour before bed no caffeine rule. Okay? No caffeine rule. 8 hours before bed. 3 hours before bed, no food or drink of any kind. 2 hours before bed, no work at all. And 1 hour before bed, no screens. So I'm going to turn off my screens, not watching TV, and I'm going to hit the snooze button 0 times. Okay, easy goal. And this is like my Monday through Friday routine. Actually, I'm going to make it my Monday through Monday routine. But I might change, my bedtime from like 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock and wake up at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. We'll see what my body does. I don't use an alarm clock. I don't like an alarm clock. But I'm also bringing back my intermittent fasting. On my beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge for 60 days, I started eating breakfast more. And it was good. It was good, but I'm bringing back my fasting and just bringing it to a 4 or 5 hour window. I find that I don't really need breakfast, and maybe I'll do it on Saturday or Sunday, but I'm tracking what I'm eating. I'm using LifeSum. It's an app, not a sponsor. It's just an app that I'm trying out to kind of watch what I'm eating and just dial it in, because I know that I could just eat meat and get healthy, but I'm trying to learn as much as I can also. And I've been hungry. I've been full. I feel like I've gone through everything, but I still haven't hit my goals. I haven't got as lean as I would like for some reason. And coming off of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, and not like just only eating beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. I had some hummus a few times with my wife. I made my own sauerkraut, and it was just cabbage and salt, and it fermented, and it just made me feel bloated. Nothing crazy. But then I added in some heavy cream here and there. I had a little bit of yogurt with some blueberries. But like as soon as I add any amount of dairy into my diet at all, immediately I feel like I gained 5 pounds. It's like water weight just comes on immediately. And I don't need it in my diet, at least most of the time. But I can have it in my diet sometimes, as long as it doesn't make me feel like trash, because I don't like the bloated feeling. But I've had that with cream cheese in the past, and I just find it gets me every time. And I guess I'm kind of going off on a tangent there, but I've learned these things over the last 2 years. My food macro goals are 205 grams of protein and 205 grams of fat and 10 carbs max. And the 10 carbs is just arbitrary. I'm not going out and like eating a bunch of vegetables and fruits and honey and all that kind of stuff. 10 carbs is like nothing. I could get that in eggs, or if I need an avocado, like how much is an avocado for Cinco de Mayo this year, like I did last year? How many carbs in one large avocado?
According to Very Well Fit, carbs. Most of the carbohydrates in an avocado come from fiber. A whole avocado provides about 17 grams of carbohydrate and 13.4 grams of fiber.
Yeah, so half of with 10 grams if you're not playing the whole net carbs math game. But that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm trying to get an A. I'm trying to be characterized by doing this. My goal's A. That means 10% of the time I'll be okay if I mess up. And what does that mean? Let me try to think out, what is a mess up for me? Eating some sauerkraut and feeling bloated. That's a mess up. The little bit of hummus I had, it was fine. That, the full fat Greek yogurt with some element in it and some blueberries, it was delicious. But I felt bloated again. So, but every once in a while, that if I go to that instead of like ice cream, well, I don't want ice cream anyway. That to me seems more permissible than a bunch of processed foods. So if I'm going to do something, it's going to be a whole food. I'll add an avocado one day, or half an avocado. Do I need to? No. But can I? Yes. How often? As often as I want, but this still be an A. Still get an A. A passing grade. And sure, I would love to just get online and say, hey, I'm going to eat nothing but beef, salt, and water for the rest of my life. Some people can do that. Most can't. Or some people can do it, but is it necessary for everybody? Is it necessary? But I will say this. I am glad that I thought it was necessary, potentially. I was okay with it being necessary, and I fought like it was necessary for so long that I started getting my health back. They're like, hold on, Aaron, if you got your health back, why would you start doing other things? Yeah, that's a good question. You need to ask that for yourself too. I have reasons, maybe they're not good reasons, maybe they're not the right reasons, but I'm working through it. And I will always promote at least a ketogenic diet of some kind, a low carb diet. Get off the processed foods. Find one that works for you. I will always promote a carnivore diet, an elimination diet, like for a reset, to get control of how often you lick your finger or just throw things in your mouth and don't even realize that you're eating food. They get control of your addiction to food and your obsessions with food and how you think about food. You have to get control. And once you start getting control and you've got control, then it's a whole nother big journey after that. And that's where I feel like I'm at right now. Aaron, carnivore diet for 2 years, a dearly loved child of God, blessed beyond measure, hopeful and filled by the blood of Jesus Christ, and a new man with a new lease on life. And a lot of my new lease on life recently is because I started paying attention to what I put in my mouth. But Jesus said it's more important what comes out of a man than what he puts in his mouth. So chew on that. Kilby out.